pandemonium. Use my fangs to murder ya. Yo soy la diosa, los demonios no me controlan. Soy culebra.
What's up, everyone? Octoberz here with another episode of Nightmare on Sedgwick Avenue. This is going to be probably like a special mid-season episode because I really want to drop this before the other podcast I've already filmed. But today I have a really dope guest. I've been trying to get him on for the longest because I'm a huge fan. One of my favorite MCs right now. He's a Philly MC, lyricist, indie artist, RJ Payne. And I want to shout out Coach Kandaka, who coordinated this and made it happen. So without further ado, let me bring him on the screen. What's up, RJ?
I'm good. Salute to you, man. I appreciate you and the platform.
Yeah, no, thank you. Like I said, shout out to Coach Kandaka for getting this situated for us. And yeah. And how did that happen? Like, because I was listening to one of the podcasts that you just did, and I like how the guy shouted out that you have like a black queen, like, doing some of your bookings for your interviews. And how did that like relationship start with you guys?
You know what? It really just started from me being a fan of Killer Priest's podcast. So, I've been watching, and I guess she does the work over there. And well before I was even introduced to her, I would watch the podcast and keep hearing her name. So she started following me one day. We got cool, and I just like that she's about her business.
Yeah,
that's it. Like it's nothing extra. It's no catches. She just want to work. So I already started kind of putting women in my platform to just help me get things done, because I started to notice, like I said, the guys, it's always an ego when a guy got to do something. So it started out with somebody named Chrissy Mack. She runs my website. And I noticed about just the way she would handle business with my website, make sure my music was getting sold. I said, okay, she handles business better than any guy I've seen. So it was just a no-brainer to add Coach Cat.
That's pretty dope. That's cool that you have like a group of women in your team. That's really dope.
Absolutely.
If you need any help, let me know. I'm here too.
Will do.
And then a cool fun fact too. I don't know if you're aware, because I know we follow each other on social media, but we have the same birthday, actually, ironically.
I heard June 15th. Huh?
Yeah.
You in good company.
Yeah. Then we got Ice Cube and Courtney Cox from Scream. So I was like, oh,
right.
We got like a dope day.
I think what they say, Tupac was maybe a day, like the 14th or something like that.
I
So
think,
we got a lot of people right around there.
Yeah, like right next to him.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So what made you fall in love with like hip hop?
My brother was a DJ. Rest in peace to my brother.
Rest in peace.
So growing up, I used to just see crates and crates and crates and crates, and I didn't understand it. I didn't really understand hip hop culture. I just knew it was a bunch of crates in my crib. So I started to just study the covers of these albums, and I just remember the covers of like 3 Times Dope album and just Tribe Called Quest. And I used to just be like, yo, who are these dudes? So the fascination started then, but I fell in love with it when I seen House Party. I seen House Party and I seen Kitten play Battle. That moment is the moment that RJ Payne was born.
That's pretty dope. I love House Party. I love that movie. And then that Class Act? Like those films were like the best.
Absolutely.
And what about as far as like horror? Because obviously you have a lot of influence in your music, like Leatherface, like all these different songs that are based on like horror villains and stuff like that. Like, where did that love come from for horror?
Again, back to my brother worked in a movie theater when I was young. So this goes back to the days of VHS tapes. So I'm not gonna get him in no trouble. He's not here anyway, but I don't know if he was bootlegging the tapes or whatever. But I know we had every VHS back then before it ever came out. So I'm talking about like Terminator 2, everything that was new when I was a kid, I had it and I was able to see it. So I used to just watch random movies, not knowing what they was. And one day I seen something called The Lost Boys, man. I seen The Lost Boys, and that turned me out. I got hooked. That's my favorite vampire movie / horror movie, and it started there.
That's cool. That's dope. And one thing I love about you is like, you preach like independence, chasing your dream.
Yeah.
And a lot of your tweets are like pretty like, speak like real shit and also like really inspirational. And there was one that stood out to me that I kind of wanted to bring up because it kind of connects to how you kind of blew up, right? So you said about like how people are willing to wake up to a job they hate, but they're not willing to do the same for, their dream, which is, I was like, damn, that shit's deep.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and for you, obviously, you actually lived that quote, because you started out doing, like, obviously you did like freestyles and like battle raps, but
Mm-hmm.
you also started
Mm-hmm.
doing like your freestyles in your car, right? Like on your breaks from your job at Target
Right.
or something.
Right.
So like, if you want
Right.
to share a little
It's
bit
crazy.
about your story.
I was so broke that shout out to my homie in Alabama. His name's Tizo. So I moved down Alabama in probably 2013.
Okay.
I used to rap before that. I was a battle rapper. I went by the name Rain Man, for those that don't know. And I just got tired of the battle rap thing. I got tired of where hip hop was at that moment. That's
Mm-hmm.
when more of the South sound was taking over. So
Mm-hmm.
moved down south. Make a long story short, with just plans to get a regular job and finally be a regular guy.
Mm-hmm.
Along that path, I started to see people rapping on Instagram, and I was like, all right, well, when I get off work, it would be dope to still tap into hip hop. Let me drop some bars,
Mm-hmm.
just on the cell phone and upload it to the gram, not wishing for anything, just
Mm-hmm.
to kind of still feel a part of hip hop. I started doing it on my whole week, and we didn't plan or hope for anything other than, yo, this just seems dope to us. So literally, we just kept uploading them. It might have been 50 views, 100 views. Seemed like nobody was watching, but I would still see live feedback in the comments, like, yo, you're fire, you're dope. So I said, all right, I'm gonna keep going. So one day I seen Lord Jamar. This is around the time when people were taking the money phone picture, when they would hold a bunch of money to their ear. So Lord Jamar one day was like, listen, I'm tired of seeing the money phone. Why don't y'all show me what you read? So I said, okay, I could jump on this trend of what he's trying to do, or I could do it my way. So make a long story short, I took a book, I propped it up in the window of the car, and I rapped about reading more, and rapped about the books that I was reading with the book sitting in the window. And he seen it, took a liking to it, he posted it, and life changed 24 hours after that. Literally, I went to sleep that night, and I woke up to Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes, everybody that you can imagine in the comments. Like, yo, who is this dude? And then changed from there.
Wow, that's crazy. That's really dope though. But it shows like you took just like a shot, right? And it happened, right? Because if you wouldn't have even attempted, it would just like, it would have never happened, or you would have never even known what would have happened, you know?
Right. I think it's just because it put me back in that pure space of not looking for anything, not a record deal, nothing. Just wanted to rap, just to rap.
Yeah, that's really dope. And then obviously you preach a lot of independence. Like, what's I guess one piece of advice you would give like an independent artist that's trying to make it in the industry or whatever you want to call it?
The best advice I would give any artist is understand what success is for you before you get into this. Understand that my success and your success might be different. I know for me, I figured out early on that having Bentleys and 19 gold chains on and, mansions and all of that, I figured out that's dope and all of that, but I figured out if I can make what I would make on a good job, just doing the music that I love, I felt like I'm already rich. And I managed to start building a base that would just allow me to pay my cell phone bill, then allow me to pay a light bill. It's like, damn, I might have something. And it just grew from there. So I would just tell anybody that find a small audience that just loves what you do. You don't got to sell 1 million copies. You don't got to be Drake. You just need 1,000 people that believe in what you do.
That's true. Yeah. And another thing too that I really like about your story is like you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but it's like you were ready to just give it up and just do like the regular guy life, right? But your career kind of started a little bit later, right? It kind of reminds me of like Samuel L. Jackson. I think they said he started like at 40 or something, right? And so I've been seeing, and we've been talking about it a lot with my friends about like even the versus battle where the Locks against the Dipset, right? And how like
classic,
and Jadakiss like killed it, and I mean the whole Locks killed it, like how they just didn't rap over the vocals like the youngins, right? So it kind of brought up the idea of like hip hop has like more of a longevity now, right? Like now you don't have to be a young rapper to like blow up or be popular. You can be a little bit older now, like I mean Jay-Z with the 444, right? So how does that play like in your career, like now that you're older, like how has that been? Like, how has that journey been?
I think it don't matter just because the internet made it to where if you're dope, unless you look like drastically older,
Yeah.
for the most part, people don't care. Like people were really
That's
just
true.
like, yo, this is dope. I like it. Where can I get more of it? And I've been lucky enough to literally not have nobody ask me, yo, how old are you or anything like that. I
Yeah.
more or less hear about the age when I bring up my age or when I tell
Yeah.
somebody, yo, I'm in my 40s. They look at me like, how the hell you in your 40s? And it's just, I think again, hip hop is so new that we've never got to see rappers in their older years. So I think we're just now at that point where, like you said, from the Jay-Z's to the Griseldas to the RJ
Yeah.
Paynes, Ransoms, you start to see more MCs on the climb that are in their 30s and 40s, 50s. Method
Yeah.
Man he's
That's true.
Method Man got the fountain of youth, man. He
Yeah.
sound better than ever, and he's in his 50s.
That's crazy. Yeah. Because I mean, like, hip hop is turning 50 this year, so it's like it's crazy, right? To think about like all
Right.
your favorite artists are just getting older, but like you said, I feel like now it's become like an ageless genre. So it's really cool to see
Right.
that. Um, and also like the fact that you just don't like, I don't know, for me, I'm like one of those, I'm not like a purist, but I love like lyrics that mean
Okay.
something, right? So, or like they have like really dope wordplay, and so that's why I kind of like gravitate to your music. And so for you, like where did because I could tell that you hone your craft and you like actually like are passionate about it and you're always trying to get better. Like for you, how does
Yeah.
that work, like for you to kind of keep getting better at your craft?
The easiest way for me to get better and just stay sharp, I just study whoever's supposed to be the guy at the moment, like whoever's supposed to be the girl, the guy, the squad, whoever that's supposed to be the it person, that's who I'm studying. And I'm always
Okay.
running my rhymes mentally in my head, like, all right, they're dope, but could they hang with this? I doubt it. They hang with this. So it's like I'm always, even if I never meet the person or it's never actually a beef or I don't even want to battle, but I just, for me, always want to know that I'm just as good as whoever is currently getting everybody's attention. So that keeps my pen sharp.
That's smart. That's smart. And then obviously you have like a lot of versatility. I mean, you've done,
Yeah,
hardcore rap. You've done horrorcore, which we just talked about. Movie, cinematic,
yeah, yes.
introspective, like Beautiful Pain. Like I love that series. And so
Thank
like, what's next? Because I know you tweeted the other day like that you finally found like the type of music you should be creating. Like, what does that look like
right.
for RJ Payne?
That's more of the single that I just released yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I can feel it. Shout out to the producer. His name is Spunk Bigger. It's just I think the soul music, anything with soul and with a feeling, that's what I come from. Like that's the music that I was making when I started doing hip hop.
Yeah.
But that's not the music that grabs people's attention usually.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of had to go back to my battle roots and go back to the bars, heavy bars, because I figured out if I can at least just get their attention and make them pay attention, then I can show them what I can do later. So I think now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, let me give y'all what I really like to do. And like you said, that's the beautiful pain. That's
Yeah.
the stuff like what I just dropped. I can feel it. So anything that's separating me from what everybody else is doing is what I'm about. Because I feel like right now hip hop is dope, but I feel like the underground watched the Griselda blow up, and I think a lot of people are doing their best Griselda impression.
I was gonna say
So
the
I'm
same
doing
thing.
my best. Yeah, I'm doing my best to separate myself from artwork to beats. I just want to make it clear that I'm just as dope, and I don't got to do that.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing because I feel like once Griselda blew up, like everybody started sounding the same, right?
Right,
So, and
right,
nothing wrong
right.
about that, but it's just like how do you stand out, like you said? And so for you, what inspires your music now? Like obviously your life, but what else like kind
Hmm.
of like makes you want to like create?
Um, I got to search now for other artists that remind me of the music that I want to make. So it's not a lot,
Hmm.
that I've come across. There's certain artists, especially new artists. There's an artist named Fillmore Green. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but I
No.
think he just dropped a project with I can't even think of the producer, and I feel so crazy that I can't think of his name. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
But make a long story short, he's one of the artists. It's another artist named John Forte. I don't know if you're familiar with him. I just find artists, whether they're famous or not, that I connect with the message, and that allows me to kind of see, okay, I can do what I normally would do, and it still is dope. Because you can always want to do something, but until you see somebody doing it, that's when you're like, okay, this will work if I do it as well. So I just always look for people that are kind of doing what I want to do.
That's pretty dope. I feel like we have like that. I'm like the same way. Like I kind of like nerd out. Like I want to like research and know everything, you know, because like you're like studying your people that are around you, like your peers, right? So that's pretty smart.
Right.
And for you, like you said, like you're heavy on like EPs, like albums, and we're in an era of like, you know, short attention span. And I always want to ask people, like, for you as an artist, like, what do you prefer? And I think I know the answer, but like, do you prefer like singles versus like albums or cohesive projects?
I would prefer a project. I'm just, you know, I'm experimenting right now. I'm noticing the internet is a very different place than where I used to be. So I said that to say, I study people like Russ.
Yes.
I don't know if you're familiar with Russ.
Yes.
And I always hear say, if you put up a let's say 10 songs, it's easy to notice that your first 1 to 2 songs get the most traction and the most plays. So I started saying, okay, let me create the dopest track, whether that's a soulful joint or whether it's bars, and let me put the standouts up as singles. Let me keep dropping those consistently and just see what happens. And it turns out people are reacting to those just like their albums. So I said, okay, if I can keep doing them, and I've been doing them, you know, weekly or bi-weekly. So I'm just really experimenting. In the age of the internet right now, there is no right or wrong. So I think I just go with whatever I feel like it. Like I have 2 projects already ready to go, but I'm really just trying to heat things up with the singles and just trying to make sure that I know where I'm at the moment. Because in the past, I've just released projects just off of feeling, okay, it's time to release a project. Now I'm starting to go into the more the analytics. Like, okay, what is my last joint done? What is the last views like? Then I can kind of gauge, okay, I think it's time.
Yeah, like more strategic on like your releases and stuff like that, right?
Right.
That's pretty dope.
Right. So yeah, it's no preference though. It's no preference, either or.
Yeah, okay, that's dope. And that's cool that you mentioned Russ, because he's one of my another favorite like rapper, and just because he preaches also independence. Like I love any other.
Okay.
So I was like gonna say, I'm like, it'll be dope to like hopefully maybe one day he'll watch this and be like, RJ Payne and Russ track would be dope.
That would be fire. That would be fire.
As a creative, you know, sometimes we have writer's blocks, but for you, like, does that happen to you, or did you find like a flow of like how to like create whenever you want?
I actually do get writer's block, but I learned a quick way to deal with it. So I figured out when I get writer's block, it's usually because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. When I say that, I mean, I feel like we all have something that we're supposed to be, whatever that is. And I feel like we said, more of the soulful music, the music with a message. I feel like that's kind of what I'm supposed to be doing. So whenever I run into a brick wall where I'm not able to just come up with bars and just punchlines and all of that, that's when I go back to my real life and just, okay, let me talk about what I've been through. Because nothing's easier to talk than your life. So that's my trick for writer's block. Just go back to being me.
That's dope. Yeah, that's a really good advice for those listening in. And for you, like, what's your favorite part of like the creative process? Like actually like creating it, releasing it. Like, what's your favorite part?
Creating it. You know what? I'm starting to get a little addicted to releasing, but I would say creation. Creation is the best part for me.
Yeah. And what about the most hardest part for you?
The most hardest part for me is the industry. I don't do good with like being fake and
I feel you. I'm saying
like the industry persona. I don't do good with throwing on the RJ Payne voice and stuff like that. Like I just know how to be me. So if there's anything that I don't do good with, it's pretending like I'm some superstar. I don't do good with that.
Okay. That's dope. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I feel like we talk about that a lot with the platform that we're part of. And we say about like how a lot of people sometimes create like you said, like a persona, and then they're like not really what they rap about or what they sing about. And then you see them on the street, and they're like, you know, it might be like, oh, they're a tough persona, and then you see them and they're like the nicest person, right? So like, it sucks because you gotta like keep up with that facade. Like for me, like I said, like if you see 7 Octoberz and you see Gabby on the street, like I'm the same person. Like there's no right, like there's no difference, and you don't have to keep up with the fake or the lies. It's like it's just who
Right,
you are.
right.
So it's dope to hear that you're one of those, and I know it's not a lot in the
No, it's not.
industry.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's really not.
Yeah. And then like you mentioned you have a lot of fans from like your the OGs from hip hop that have
Right,
gravitated towards your music, which is really dope to
right.
see. I think just the other day you posted was it Lady Rage or
Lady of Rage.
yeah, shout
Lady
out
of
to her.
Rage.
That's like really
Crazy.
dope.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How does that feel like when you get like stuff like that like from the hip hop legends like that?
Um, it used to be kind of weird because it's like imagine like if you're a super hip hop head like I am, it's like, yo, I remember not too long ago being dead broke, like listening to these guys to kind of get through my day. So when they like, yo, I'm a fan of you, it's kind of like I got to get used to it. So, but I think
Yeah.
now I got a better handle on it now.
Mhm.
But it's still weird. It's weird because I don't know how to.
How to
People, I
react?
think some people want to see me take it more like a superstar. Like, yeah, they're supposed to
Mm.
love me, but I
Yeah.
don't. I don't feel like that. I feel like I remember what it was like when my phone stopped ringing, when nobody cared about what I was doing. So I feel like I don't care who is giving me a cosign. I'll never let my ego
Yeah.
act like they're not who. Like that's still Ice T. That's still Lady of Rage.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. And how do you like handle that? Because it looks like you're really like spiritually like awake and stuff like that. As far as like yourself and you're in the ego, like for you as an artist, because we talk a lot about that, and especially in the rap industry, like where the ego, is one of the worst
Mm-hmm.
things that can hold you back too as an artist. For you, how do
Mm-hmm.
you manage that, and how did you get into that journey of like kind of self awareness?
Easy. When I first was doing my battle rap thing, and I was going by Rain Man. I won an MTV battle. So yeah, so I won an MTV battle in about 2003, and the winner of the MTV MC battle won a single slash record deal with Def Jam, and all of the bells and whistles. And make a long story short, I was 23 when that happened. And that was a gift and a curse because I was 23. So just imagine a 23-year-old hip hop head that just got signed to Def Jam and you feeling like you're on top of the world. So I went through the phase of feeling like I'm smelling my own shit, so to say. Like I was
Yeah.
feeling myself to the third power. So and that went away. That went away real quick when I realized the industry will stop calling you when they don't feel like you're hot no more. And once I seen that, I said, "Oh, they not answering for me no more. Certain people just not looking for me. They not answering my calls. So I promised myself, if I'm ever able to get back in the spotlight, that I will make sure that I stay a regular person, no matter who's co-signing me, no matter what's going on. Gotta make sure I stay regular."
That's a really dope story. And I'm glad to hear, because a lot of people like they get older and that ego always stays with them.
Oh
Uh,
man, I think that was the best thing for me is that I was able to get some type of fame early and realize what not to do with it.
yeah. And then obviously like besides getting like co-signs or like shout outs from like the hip hop legends, you've worked with like Ice T, Method Man, which you just
Oh
mentioned.
man,
How
yes,
has
yes.
that been, and like who's still on your bucket list?
You know what's crazy? I've literally almost worked with everybody that I can dream of working with. That's no type of cockiness when I say that. Like I
Yeah,
still can't believe I worked with some of the people that I
yeah,
work with. At this point, I think there's many people that I would still want to work with, but of course, at the top of my list is always Eminem.
oh
That's
yeah,
just
that would be
it is
dope.
what it is. Like, and I just wanted that's more of for me because I feel like technically he's one of the best to ever do it. So I feel like
Mhm.
it was only right if I feel like I'm gonna be the best or one of the best, I have to test my pen against the guy that I call the best. So the Eminems, the Busta Rhymes, the Nas, those are the type of guys that I want to work with next.
That's dope. And what about like the younger ones? Like maybe they might not be considered legends just yet, but like the ones that are like independent artists. I mean, we mentioned Russ, but like who else? Is there anybody else on your radar? Like I think you mentioned a film more or film.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
Fillmore Green. Just newer artists. It's a lot of them. Like I'm actually tapped in with a lot of the newer artists, probably artists that most people have never heard of. That's
yeah,
another thing I kind of pride myself on, and I promise myself, no matter where people start feeling like I'm rising to, I want to make sure I still keep my eye on new talent. And it's not about finding them to sign with me. I don't want nobody signed under me. None of that. I just want to be able to provide a platform for people that I feel as though are nice that might not be known. So it's not really one person. I'm really interested in anybody that's new and dope because it keeps me on my toes.
That's dope. That's dope to hear because I think we don't see it a lot in hip hop. Like I was gonna bring up because another like genre that I like it's like reggaeton because it's almost like Spanish rap pretty much. So and I see like a lot of the OGs because obviously reggaeton is almost like it's a little bit younger than hip hop, but like obviously people are getting older from like the OGs and then now it's like the younger generation and I see it a lot where like the OGs kind of feature like the younger ones that are maybe not be popping yet just yet, but with hip hop we don't see it a lot, right? So and again I think it comes back to the ego. So it's good. It's good to see that you, as an artist that's kind of like blowing up and independent as well, like is willing to like feature newer artists, you know, and give them a platform.
Absolutely. I think you know what. While it just came to my brain, let me shout out the few that I do think of. I got a cat named Max Quabbles. He's fire, young MC from Philly. It's another one named Little D. He's from Staten Island, I believe. Those are the two that just at the top of my head right now. Those two are super fire. So yeah, it's a lot of dope young MCs, man.
Yeah, that's dope to hear. Yeah, because I hate when people are like, oh, like hip hop is dead or like hip hop is like it's trash. But I was like, dude, you gotta just look for it. There's so much music out there now. You can't say like it sucks.
when people say hip hop is dead, those are the people that you know are not listening and they're not looking. Because right now I feel like I feel like we're experiencing a new form of a golden era because it's a lot of dope MCs that you wouldn't believe how dope they are, and we're spread around, and a lot of us are independent. So it's like you said, if you're not looking, you would never know that there are the next Redmans, they're the next Method Mans, they're the next Pharaoh Monsters. We're out here. You just gotta look.
Exactly, yeah, because I think a lot of people just like focus on like the mainstream, what's on the radio, and they don't really like go and find the music. Because I agree with you. I feel like it's like a hip hop kind of like renaissance, whereas like it's a lot of dope artists, and like I think now the beauty of it, and you talk about it, like record labels hopefully will be non-existent in the next couple of years because everything you can do yourself now. You know, you can put out your own music. You don't need to have like somebody to release it or put it. I mean, nobody even really listens to the radio. Let's be honest. Like I don't listen to it anymore.
No, not at all. I think it's funny that you said that because I always tell people that the record labels have been robbing rappers for so long that when people see people like me or people like Russ, and we learn that the internet, and if you have your monetization done correctly, you can make more money than most of these rappers that are signed to any label. And I'm learning that firsthand. And deeper than that, you start to understand that when you see rappers on tour all year and they're always on tour, they're always at a show, it looks dope. But what you don't realize is these guys are on tour because that's the only money that they're going to make. They're not going to get no royalties because the label's taking it. They're not going to get no merch, the label's taking it. So it's like you said, we're in a renaissance where not only is dope artists, but the dope artists are now getting a bag, their own bag, and we don't need nobody.
Yeah, that's really dope to see, and I hope it keeps going that way. And I was gonna say for you, what's like been your favorite either song or project that you've dropped so far?
I think the one that I'm most proud of, like I have a lot of stuff that I love that I did, but I think that I'm most proud of will probably be being on Method Man's single, his first single from his newest album. That I'm so proud of that I still can't believe it happened. Like it's like you don't get a phone call to say, hey, Method Man wants you on his single from his newest album. That it don't happen. And when I got the call, it was attached with, oh, by the way, let us know what the bill is. Let us know what you want. And I'm like, look, y'all gonna pay me to be on Method Man's? I don't want no money. Just give me the microphone. I'll do it. Tell Meth I need a verse in return. So that was the thing that I think excited me the most so far.
That's pretty dope. Is that the Butterfly Effect one? Or is that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that track. Yeah, I was like, it's crazy. And I've been watching a lot of the Wu-Tang, the show on, was it Hulu or whatever?
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy to me. Like I was telling my mom because my mom like knows a little bit about hip hop, but she doesn't know like all the history. But I was like, man, like
Okay.
watching the, I was like telling her like trying to school her like watching their stories like really crazy because like music literally saved their lives. Like if not, they would have ended up in jail or
Right.
dead or something.
Right.
So it's just like inspiring watching that their story. Um, and for you, like what's something you're grateful like talking about that like what's something you're grateful that hip hop has allowed you to do that you otherwise wouldn't have done because of hip hop?
I'm gonna be honest. Without hip hop, I didn't fit in nowhere else. Hip hop has had to be what I was sent on this earth to do because scholastically, I hated school. Like I was smart enough to do the work, but it wasn't for me.
Mhm.
Working in regular 9 to 5s wasn't for me. The street life wasn't for me. Like I did some of everything that you can imagine, and it always brought me back to hip hop. So I
Yeah.
think without hip hop, I don't know where I would be. Literally, I have no clue.
Yeah, and I agree with you when you mentioned earlier about like how you're meant to do what you're meant to do, right? And I agree with you because for some reason, like for me too, I was working not where I'm working now, but I was working at another 9 to 5, and it was kind of like I got into depression. I was just like stressed out, long hours and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and I stopped writing because I also do music. I do a little bit of everything like creatively, and I stopped for a while, but then I was like, I'm gonna quit. So I quit. I built the courage to quit, and then I found a job that I was able to like, still do what I wanted to do on the side. And then I ended up
Yep.
here, like at this podcast. So it's like it's crazy how you're right. Like
See,
sometimes you end up where you're supposed to be.
where you're supposed to be. Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. And what about bringing it back to the horror? What's like a movie or a track or a concept album that you kind of still on your bucket list that you haven't tackled yet?
Hmm. Now I be doing the cinematic thing. So
Yeah.
me and my man PA Dre, man, we've been throwing around some movie ideas. We're definitely highly considering doing Get Out, believe it or not.
That's dope.
Just and we're going, yeah, right, right. So just imagine me being the guy that was dating the girl, except I would be getting indoctrinated into hip hop. Hip hop would be the house that I'm coming into, and I'll let your imagination
Yeah.
go from there where I could take it. So we're thinking about making Get Out an album, and me and Ice T are going to do another one as well, like we did the Nino Brown joint. We're going to do. He got a movie called what is the name of the movie? It's called. I'm drawing a blank. It always happens when I'm
Yeah.
doing an interview. But Ice T has a movie where he was homeless, and they based on, I think it's called Surviving the Game. That's what it's
I
called.
was
And
gonna
he was
say
homeless,
okay.
and right. And if you've seen the movie, they basically kidnap the homeless guy, give him a job, and he's really with their hunting. They end up hunting this guy. So we're gonna
Yeah.
do that. I'm gonna get him to narrate it, and I'm gonna do the whole story.
Oh wow, that's dope. Yeah, and I'm over here like repping the If Cocaine Could Talk 7 because I was like, it's
Yo, I
7.
just seen that. Thank you, thank you so much. Thank you. That's fire.
No, you're welcome. Yeah, I love New Jack City. Like that's what like Nino Brown's probably one of my favorite villains. Just like the
Me
the
too.
movie and that
Me
that
too.
album was dope. Like the one that you dropped with Ice
Thank
T
you.
it was cool. So yeah, I'm
And that was
excited.
all experimentation. I
Yeah.
had no clue what I was doing that. Like I was literally like, I want to make a story. Like when I tell you I didn't know what I was doing, I had no clue making that out. But it turned out dope, and it gave me the
Yeah.
blueprint, and now I know I can make a million movies now just off of that one
Yeah.
project.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm excited for the Get Out one. Let me know when that drops because yeah, like
Absolutely.
I could see like even like the sunken place could be like the rap industry or so. Like it's like so many things you
You
could
see what
do
I'm
with it,
saying?
right? Yeah.
Right, right. And
uh,
I'm definitely gonna do the Lost Boys as well at some point.
oh,
That's my
that'd be
favorite
dope.
movie. I have to do the Lost Boys.
That's dope. Yeah, if you need anything, let me know. Any like voiceover
Absolutely,
narration, I'll be down.
absolutely. Bet, bet.
That's really cool though, the surviving the game because I was gonna say like I remember that movie and I feel like that was like the OG movie and then afterwards like now all these newer movies came out like I think it was like The Hunt
Right,
and like what the
right.
like how was it the not the Purge? There's another one where like they're killing people like as like
Same type of thing though. Right.
right? Yeah, that was a good movie. Shout out to Ice T. Um,
Absolutely.
and what about for horror? What's your top 5 movies?
It changes. It always changes. I swear I'll have a
Yeah,
list and then
same here.
and yeah, ask me in the wintertime and I'll have a different list. So right now, Lost Boys is still at the top. What would be after that? Leatherface. Uh, I used to have I used to love the original Leatherface, but now I'm super in love with the one that Netflix made. Like I don't know what it is about that one. That Leatherface was like the most brutal joint I've ever seen. So I say Leatherface, Lost Boys, Candyman.
Okay.
Candyman's an easy one.
Yeah.
Two more that are my go-tos.
You got two more, I think.
Can't believe that I'm drawing a blank. I am the movie guy. I love movies. Event Horizon. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's four, and my fifth one would probably be. I'm bugging. Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Duh. Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy.
That's dope. What about like either top 5 rap albums, or top 5 artists if you can't come up with albums?
I definitely can't do albums. Matter of fact, I can do albums. Let me not say that. So we'll go Ready to Die. And not just because it sounds cool, because I remember being a broke teenager and all I had was that Biggie album. And when I tell you that got me through some days, man, you have a clue. So let's say Ready to Die. Let's say Muddy Waters, Redman. Let's say Onyx, the Last Days album.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go MOP. What album is that? That's the album that had I don't believe I'm drawing these blanks. I'm so mad. The OP album that has 4 Alarm Blades for Jay-Z. I'm not sure what the name of that album is. That MOP album, and I would say Reasonable Doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say Reasonable Doubt. Yeah, I'm a Jay-Z fan.
Dope. And what about your favorite? I mean, it's probably Leatherface, but what's your favorite horror villain or icon?
It changes. Right now, always pick one. It's always going to be David. It's always going to be David from Lost Boys. Always going to be the bad Kiefer Sutherland character. Always.
Yeah.
To me, he's the coolest vampire on the planet.
Yeah. That's true. I forget. Kiefer killed it on that one.
Right.
And what about your favorite Final Girl?
Final Girl?
Yeah, like the one that makes it at the end of the horror movie.
That would have to be Nancy. She ain't make it through all of the Nightmares on Elm Street, but Nancy is my favorite, man. I love her.
Yeah, I know. I'm so bummed that she didn't come out on the sequels. Only like the new Nightmare.
I know.
And then I kind of wanted to do. I just did this. Is like the first time I'm doing this on the podcast. I want to do like a little horror trivia.
Okay.
To make it a little bit fun. So one of them is, if you can name one rapper that survives a horror movie.
LL Cool J.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And what about name an actor that started their career in a horror movie?
That started their rap.
That started their career, just like an actor.
Just
like a regular actor that started. I'll give you an example. Kevin Bacon came out in Friday the 13th. That was where he started his career. So I don't know if you know anybody else.
That started in the movies? No, not that just coming to my brain. No.
Yeah, so I'll name a few just for those listening in. So like Leonardo DiCaprio, I think he was in Critters, and that's where he first started. Like I guess his career.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston in Leprechaun. Johnny Depp. Yeah, and then Johnny Depp was in Nightmare on Elm Street. That was like his first role, I believe.
He was part 1.
Yeah, and then this one I didn't know. George Clooney. I think it was like some high school horror movie or something. And then
I didn't know that.
The most famous one is Jamie Lee Curtis, because that was like her first kind of known role.
Right.
Yeah. Right. It's kind of cool. I was like, I had to go and research, because I'm like, it's kind of interesting to how these people like they blow up and they're like, oh, I don't want to do anything with horror, but I'm like, dude, horror gave you a career.
Right.
And then the last one, this one hopefully should be easy. Since you're a Leatherface fan, who directed the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I'm terrible with directors. Let's just get that out right now. I am terrible, terrible. Um, the bad part is you're gonna say it, and I'm gonna already know it. So it's pissing me off
Yeah.
because I'm gonna know it as soon as you say it, but I don't know right now, so I'm not even gonna waste your time. I
No
don't know.
worries. It's Toby Hopper. And I think, yeah, he passed away already. Rest in peace.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, and then I was gonna say too, like for you, where do you see yourself in the next, like 5 years? Like, do you see yourself like in a rap career, or do you see yourself doing something else?
Oh no, I'm gonna be here. As long as the creator permits, I'm gonna be here doing music. I want to actually help break that stigma that rappers can't be here, in their 40s and 50s. So
Yeah.
hopefully I can be here as long as I'm healthy and able to do it. And I see me always doing music, but I see me going into more of hopefully I can score some movies. I really want to do that. I really want to do that. Like the same thing I'm doing with the cinematic pain. I would love to do that for whatever's about to come out. I would love.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you too, cause yeah, like I'm trying to do I'm trying to move to like filmmaking. So I was like, that'll be dope if I can have you on the soundtrack or something. I'll let you know if I ever,
Absolutely.
whenever I do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's cool. Do you ever see yourself like maybe like acting or anything like that, or you're like just music?
Yeah, I would do it. I would do it. I just I'm heavy on being respectful to things before I get into them. Like I don't just want to be the rapper that's like, yeah, get me in a movie. Like no, I want to make sure if you see me in a movie, well, you probably if you don't know I'm RJ Payne, I want you to be like, yo, I don't know, dude, but he's a hell of an actor.
Yeah.
So I really want to take it serious. So yeah, I would do it though. In a heartbeat.
That's dope. Yeah, it's like Tupac. I feel like that's like the best example that I can say, like where he was like a dope actor.
Right.
Like if you didn't know him as a rapper and you just knew him as an actor,
you would have been just as happy to see him. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And before we get out of here, what kind of like legacy or either creatively or personally do you want to leave behind?
If anything, I just really want to be known as the guy that was pushing heavy for no expiration date for no hip hop artist or no musician, period. There should be no expiration date on none of us, no creatives. None of us should be told when we should have to stop or you're too old. None of us should have to go through that. So I just want to be that guy. The rest of my career, I want to be the guy that's pushing the line where he's rapping with the best rappers. He's over here with the best of these of whatever he's doing, and he's the older cat, and I'm cool with being that guy.
That's dope. Yeah, well, I mean, keep doing it. Like I said, yeah, you're one of my favorite MCs. Like your story is inspiring. And it's really an honor to have you here. And like I always want to give everybody their flowers, because before it's like too late. So thank you for your music and everything you do. And then before we get out of here, any like shout outs or anything before we get out of here?
Absolutely. Shout out to you. Shout out to your platform. First of all, I appreciate you and what you do. Shout out to my whole team, man. My road manager, Larry Chan. Shout out to Coach K. C-Mac to do my website. Everybody on my side. My producer, P.A. Dre. My whole team, man. That's it.
That's dope. Yeah, shout out to them.
And be on the lookout. I got a project. I would say just be on the lookout. I got a new project on the way. My Life is a Movie, Volume 2. We just wrapped that all the way up. So that should be out within the next month.
Okay, dope. Yeah, so I'm hopefully I'm gonna drop this. I think I'm just gonna do like a special episode and drop it on our birthdays or something. That'd be cool, just to like.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
So you know what? Dope.
I might try to hold my project and drop it on my birthday. That'd be dope.
Okay, yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. I'll keep Coach K posted as well. But thank you so much for being on.
No problem. Anytime, man. Enjoy your day. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. You too. Peace. That was RJ Payne. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, comment. All that helps my channel as well. And go follow RJ Payne. If you haven't heard his music, you got to check it out. If you're like a real hip-hop head, you got to listen to his music. It's really dope. And I'm glad that he's a really dope human being as well. Shout out to him. Shout out to Coach K for getting this coordinated once again. And yeah, thank you guys. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace.